fix your seat. Sweet thing. Get set up. Yo. What is up, everybody?
Technical difficulties.
So we're going to give everyone a chance to roll in, but we had to. It wasn't letting us into the dashboard for us to go live with the scheduled thing. I had no idea what was going on.
Did it start just right now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we're a couple minutes late. Unfortunately, good old YouTube not cooperating with the stream that we created.
I couldn't even get into our comments with as our own. I had to log into my own account to tell you guys technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
It was a big problem. How's everyone sounding? Are we good? Does it look all right? Look at my eye. Look at that.
I was gonna say my eyeshadow is not blended.
My eyeshadow looks wonderful. I got elbowed today in jiu-jitsu class.
Jesus.
Just a quick warning. I am a very hot little potato right now. Just gonna warn you.
He's more than a hot little potato. I was nervous for him. He's gonna pop a blood vessel, y'all.
I mean, living in LA has its perks. Living in LA also has its massive downfalls. And I left work nice and early today. Gave myself plenty of time to get home, to get set up, get everything going. And of course I did
that. Hello. I did that.
Well, I'm getting to that because I didn't set up anything because I didn't get home in time. And there was apparently a massive, massive accident on the freeway. Because I literally sat in one spot, even using the Waze app, which is phenomenal if you guys don't use that.
Wonderful eye for a hot potato.
I was sitting in the same spot for a half hour. It was so brutal, but
hot potato warning. That's right.
Made it here. Here we are, live streaming.
Wait. People have been asking. I'm going to give it to you now. Church. There you go. Somebody was like, oh, no church at the end. Church. There you go.
That was a little too shocking for a church moment at the end.
Church.
But just to give you all a rundown on what's going on, we've got some updates for you. We've got some packages that we want to feature and say thank you about. And then we're going to hit up a bunch of questions. We're going to really this is all going to be about Breaking Bad. This is the Breaking Bad wrap party.
Fernando.
Because we have wrapped the show. So we're going to have a little celebration and have some fun with you guys. The first thing, in terms of questions that we're going to do, we're going to hit up the Patreon. It's one of the small little perks that they get over there is that they get first dibs on questions. And then we will do our best to hit the chat. And I hate to say stuff like this, but it is what it is. If you want your a question or comment guaranteed to be seen by us, I would super chat it if you can. If not, that's fine. We're going to go through the chat. This thing's already powering through very quickly. So I guess we'll just jump right into the announcements. Up first, if you don't follow us on Twitter at NickySteveReact, you might not know, but we are officially announcing the new premium show, which has
keep this in mind. Premium show.
Yeah, what
does that mean?
It's the premium show. It'll be 3 days a week, just like Breaking Bad was, and this show has some very, very big shoes to fill after Breaking Bad. But officially, we could tell you that we are going to watch Vikings. Vikings, I went and did some research on this, and it was in our first vote 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it got pretty much obliterated by Breaking Bad in the vote.
Look at this, everybody.
It lost by
no.
It lost by 15% or something in the vote.
Slow down. Don't say bye. That wasn't the only announcement.
Yeah,
Chill.
We've got another one. We run a vote and the vote won. It was clear.
Slow down. Stop saying no. You don't know the whole thing yet.
All right, we'll just get into the second announcement. The weekend show, which will be once a week. It doesn't necessarily fit into what we usually do for a weekend show, but no. We'll hit all the chat later. Those don't go away. We have a rundown. We're going to follow it. This doesn't generally fit our normal weekend show because it's got more episodes than we would like for a weekend show. But honestly, it just makes too much sense to not watch Better Call Saul. We're going to do it. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch Vikings and Better Call Saul together. But just a heads up, we are in the process of finishing we've got one Punisher episode that's going out this weekend, and then we're going to finish Cobra Kai. We're going to take a small little break just because this has been a fucked up month. It's been so wild in terms of the shows that we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Between getting through Breaking Bad, we're wrapping up Game of Thrones soon. And Punisher is a very special show to us as well. Like a lot of people wouldn't put it in the same category as Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, but it's very sentimental to us. We love John Bernthal. We love the Punisher. So it's a very emotional week in terms of shows that we're finishing up. So we're going to close out Cobra Kai. We're going to power through those. Those are really short and easy
Thank you,
episodes to watch. So we'll power through that, and then we're going to jump on Better Call Saul. For Vikings, kind of a rough estimation as to when we're going to start that, probably around the 21st, because we're not going to start next week. We've got a little time off planned, which is much needed.
Because if you guys didn't know or forgot, we have children.
Yes. A couple quick other announcements. Stranger Things will be back in July, and we are 100% going to react to that when it comes out. We will find a way to squeeze it into the schedule, whether we cut back on one Vikings episode or we cut back on, or we put a pause on Saul. Whatever it is, we'll come up with something in July to hit Stranger Things. And then the last, first time talking.
Yes.
The last announcement is regarding Black Mirror. We still get a lot of comments about Black Mirror.
I was going to say, like, everybody and their mom. Thank you again, Chris. I'll get back to you on that.
People keep bringing it up, and we've run into a lot of copyright claim issues with Netflix and that show. So that show is going to kind of stay on hold indefinitely. There could be a day that we come back to it. There is
Rob. Sorry.
There is absolutely an opportunity at some point to get back to it. We will. But yes, those are the announcements. Better Call Saul, the new weekend show after we finish Cobra Kai, and then Black Mirror's on hold, and we will do Stranger Things when it drops in July. So let's get to Breaking Bad.
Well,
let's talk about it. Don't worry, y'all. Those who are sending in chats, we'll get to them, we promise. But we're going to go in order here and hit up our Patreon questions, and then we'll jump to all that other stuff.
Where's the BJJ channel at? Have you not been watching it?
Search for Steve OG. Steve OG is the name of that channel now, which it needs a better name. I don't want it to be Steve OG. I was thinking maybe calling it like Steve Rants or Sticker Steve or something silly like that. But any and all suggestions are wanted on that because it needs to improve.
Somebody asked about Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, we're not doing Fear the Walking Dead.
I'm done with that. I'm done with that show.
We had stopped. This is all supposed to be about Breaking Bad. We'll hit a couple things. Fear. We came back for Fear season 4, strictly because of Morgan, and honestly, that show's not The Walking Dead, and it just doesn't compare. It just wasn't good enough, and I don't want to force it just because it's in the same family as The Walking Dead.
Yeah, just we
want to be able to watch things that we're really passionate and excited about. So that's why we're not doing Fear. We might watch it, but we're not going to invest the time and the effort
of editing
down reaction videos for it. So yeah, that's kind of where we are now, right there. But
I'm sorry to any of the super chats.
We will get to them.
We'll get back to you on that. Promise.
Absolutely promise. So first question, we got a whole bunch. We're going to try to power through these, and a lot of them are going to kind of be repetitive. So if we don't get to your question, we probably answered it. But right off the bat, Sammy wants to know, after watching the entirety of the series, which episode is your least favorite? That's starting with a negative.
So, I researched for a few hours this afternoon, and it was hard for me to pick a least favorite episode because, an episode in its entirety, none of them were bad. Just some of the moments.
Which is crazy that this show had no bad episodes.
Right. So some of the moments that I thought were bad, Problem Dog when he blows up the car.
Oh, you didn't like that moment? You thought that was bad?
Do you remember the rant I went on about how the fuck could you do that? You shit. Oh, no. Sorry, I won't get fired up again. Hazard pay. Walt has to be the cool dad. He had Jesse remove Andrea from his life, and then he put Skylar's info on blast to Maureen. Like, by the way, she cheated with her boss.
By the way, a lot of these questions asking for like 1 or 5 or 10 of something, at least in my research, I put a lot more than what was asked. So we'll definitely get, except for least favorite, because I had a real struggle picking a least favorite episode, but I went with ICU, mostly because.
Well, I wasn't even done, yo.
Oh, well, we can't do 5 hours on each question.
I got one more.
What?
51. When Skylar like has to like remove the kids because Walt is the danger.
Yeah.
I am the danger.
I went with ICU mostly because I was so annoyed with Jesse acting like an idiot in the lab.
Oh yeah. Well,
that really annoyed me. Like, even like, yes, I could see the humor in it, but at the same time, I was like, come on, man, be a little better than that. That was, if I had to pick a least favorite, it was that.
Oh,
or
I don't hate Walt. I don't hate him.
I mean,
his actions are not awesome. I hate his actions.
I mean, a lot of it stems from you being a mama and like,
yes, a parent.
You purposely out of your own gain trying to hurt a child. Like, she's never going to forgive you for that. Are you crazy? The other episode that I thought about was, Fly, obviously, because, my love for Rian Johnson. I'm kidding. I actually really enjoyed that episode a lot.
I know everybody hated on it. I didn't find it
bad.
I
thought it was pretty hilarious. Brian Givens, what do you think makes this one of the greatest series of all time? If you had to pick a couple things,
thank you, William. I'll get back to you.
What do you think makes it the best?
What makes
for me, it was the constant character development of like watching Walt grow and deteriorate and then try to come back.
I wrote down that every piece of like writing in the show was on purpose. Everything that you saw was on purpose. Nothing was just because it's there in the background.
Right. The story was phenomenal.
You saw everything that you saw for a reason.
Yeah. Excellent
writing.
I loved the time lapses and some of the beauty shots that they used, just because I'm super into that as a producer and a content creator. Like, just the visuals and their creative camera angles and like where they put cameras, like the stuff that they did was very innovative for back then. Like even one of my buddies, a big YouTuber, uses Breaking Bad, like their shot creativity as like a influence in the way he shoots things, which is something great. But the overall story and the character development was just so great. And
shovel cam. Yeah.
The one thing that was dope, the one thing that really kind of, I feel like, sets this show off from everything else that we've watched was 2 things.
Thank you, Juliana. We'll get back to you.
One being the idea of just the unpredictability of some of the stuff that played out. Anytime, like, as you guys have seen, like, I like to make guesses. I like to have commentary even during an episode. And like I'll guess something right, but then I'll guess a whole bunch of things wrong.
Yeah.
When you could completely trick me into something, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I loved it. And then the other thing is just of all the other shows that we've watched, nothing has ended that perfectly.
Thank you. Beats. Get right back to you on that.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil anything in case you haven't seen some of the shows that we've watched, but like I feel like none of our shows have ended well.
Thank you, Carey.
They've all been kind of suspect.
Yeah.
And this one just
somebody said plot holes. Exactly.
There aren't
plot holes. There are none in Breaking Bad. Like, yeah, legit. Everything you saw for a reason.
Carl wants to know, if Hank hadn't gone to the bathroom that day, do you think Walt might have gotten away with it, or was he living on knife's edge after Gus's death?
But
I felt like he was pretty clear at that point.
I think he was okay. What did I say?
I would not be surprised if he would have completely gotten away with it if he wasn't careless with
because
with that book.
He had already started to distance himself, and he was like, all right. I mean, my other thing is Lydia. Would Lydia have somehow done something to get him in trouble?
Like showing up at the car wash?
Yeah, you dumb bitch.
So yeah, I think he could have potentially found a way out, but I mean, bottom line, it was always meant for him to get caught. Let's be real, right? Mm-hmm. Andrew, do you have the questions there?
I do. Andrew's question. How has the show affected you two in your lives?
This is hilarious because I actually thought about this recently. Legitimate. Like, this is not a joke.
Thank you, guys. Get back to you.
Not a joke at all. When I'm driving now and I see a trailer, I think of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
What's the other thing I always see now when I'm like, oh, that's Breaking Bad. I wish I would have wrote it down because now I'm completely like. There are things that I will see in our regular day now where I'm just constantly like,
that guy's on meth.
Or like, yeah, like I'm trying to think about like I'm really upset now that I'm having a brain fart.
Oh yeah, pest control. Those tented houses. But no, my thing is like this could actually be happening in real life.
Well, yeah,
it probably is somewhere.
That was it's a very real show. I think that's part of like why it was so intense. But damn it, what was the other thing that I saw? What happened? What was one of the main things in season 5 that was going down? Like visually. Where were they? Oh, that's gonna bug me.
I keep looking at myself versus the camera. I apologize.
I'll come back to it if it pops into my head. But every time I see, every time I hear like a lawyer commercial now too on the radio. I'm like,
Shane, I see you. Thank you.
Better Call Saul. Like it stuff pops up all the time. Then for me, would Walt make a compelling Sith Lord? Would he use a blue saber? But honestly, watching Walt's demise was masterful, and I wish
definitely
he could have gotten that from
the right
Anakin.
person. Thank you, Lewis. We'll get back to you.
I think he would make he fits the bill perfectly for a Sith, just because of the way he deteriorated and just let the stuff consume him, and he easily traveled to the dark side. And I think he would, but he wouldn't use a blue saber. I mean, it would fit the meth, but Siths use red. Like that's just they use red sabers. It's just the way it is.
Thank you, Jake. We'll get back to you.
Unless he was the first person to
Stephen Gold, yes,
not use one.
Vikings and Better Call Saul.
What's the next question?
Also from Dan, do you think Walt was as entirely selfish in the end as he admitted to being in his final scene with Skylar? After all, he still found a way to get his family the money.
I would say yes and no to that. Just because it was just part of his he still wanted. I think he still wanted to take care of his family, but at the same time, I 100% buy the idea that he was being completely truthful because it makes sense. He was the best at what he did. It probably made him feel amazing.
Well, okay, so my thing is, I think he was actually being selfless by the end of it, but he already, for me, see this again, this is my opinion, just me. He'd done so much horrible things up until then that it was about fucking time that he decided to finally be selfless and tell the truth. So, I mean, trying to right some wrongs.
I thought that was one of the best parts of the show, just because, I mean, he was being truthful. It was something that I think was in the back of my head that he said it so many times that it was for his family. I stopped buying that after a certain point. I'm like,
yeah, up to a certain point, it was like, oh my God, yeah, totally.
Especially,
I defended Walt. I was like, yeah, this is for his family. He's got to do what he's got to do to get for his family. I wish he didn't do meth or cook meth for his family, but he had to do. And then he just, There was a point, and then he just passed it, and then he went beyond that, and then he started digging his own grave.
Right, and then like the whole Empire thing came about, and it was like,
that
all
was
right,
some bullshit.
you're clearly not doing this for your family. You're doing it for the power and the amazingness of
the
how
way
it
it feels.
Right. Dan with a really fun question. If you could be in charge of the upcoming Breaking Bad movie, what would it be about?
The aftermath.
Well, I think it is. I think that is what it's going to be. It's the only story that wasn't completely wrapped up. Jesse, we're going to meet up with Jesse. Apparently,
I would like to know. Yeah.
My pick. I would love to see a spin-off of this, of like the whole trial thing. While Walt was hiding away in the cabin in the Granite State, I would love to see all of the stuff that was going on with the lawyers and the trial.
Yes.
And just like what was being presented, what were the things that were going on in court, what were the conversations like the judges were having with the lawyers, like what was Skylar doing during that time, because that shit had to have been insane. Right. Just because is like that's the one fascinating thing. Like once we caught up with Walt and he was reading the paper and like you were seeing all these headlines, it was like, yeah, I want to know what that like. I want to see I can see a whole season about a trial about that. So bless you.
Excuse me.
Those would be catching up with Jesse, which is what I think it's going to be about. And then like the trial stuff would be fascinating to me.
I would like to know. Yeah.
You want to read manuals?
Dude, every time I get it wrong, I can't say your name. Vince Gilligan, is it Gilligan? Yeah, has always said that his intention with the series was to take a good guy and turn him into the bad guy. And yet by the end of it, as you experienced firsthand, there were still plenty of people, if not a majority, who sided with Walt over Skylar, Jesse, and Hank. Why do you suppose that is? I think people just get attached to a character and they can kind of do no wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, people do that in real life too. Totally. You know, to me, athletes, you could do no wrong.
I mean, anything that you're a fan of, you're going to attach. And he's a phenomenal character, regardless of what his actions are. Like, you might not think some of the stuff that he's done is that horrible. Like,
you might think that for every bad thing, he did something good. Right. I don't feel that way, but you're more than welcome to have your opinion, and I can have mine, and that's what makes everything awesome. Everything is awesome.
I totally believe that the only reason that people were willing to side with him the way that they did was because he was such, like, he's
a really good bad guy.
He's one of the best characters of anything ever. Like, there's no questioning it. It's so good, and he was phenomenal. So I think that's part of the reason. Like, some people are willing to overlook some of the stuff that he did, and like, I'm one of them. I could see. I'm really easy. I talk about it all the time, to be swayed on a character just because it's the pro wrestler fan in me. Like, you start doing good things to be redeemed, like I'm gonna fall for that hook, line, and sinker. I'm gonna go for it. And you know, he's such a good character that it was really easy. Byron, did you notice that the lyrics of the song that was playing in the car Walt stole at the beginning of Felina was part of the song that starts playing when Walt starts the car has the lyrics, "I saddled up and away I did go, riding alone in the dark. Maybe tomorrow a bullet may find me." The music in this show was extremely fitting, without question.
But again, everything you heard, saw, or whatever was put there for a reason. It's awesome. Yeah,
it was, I mean, legitimately flawless. Like, I'm not saying that loosely either, calling it flawless the way I have been. It's been flawless. The show was flawless. So, Miranda, where do you think Jesse went?
I think that he drove and just kept driving. Like,
well, you don't think he went anywhere specific?
He probably went to check on Brock, but I don't know. I'm hoping that, you know, his grandma has him, that he's not, like, you know, in the system or whatever. And then, what else did I put? Lots of therapy. And hopefully the cleaner, you know, Saul's cleaner took him back and, you know, was able to help him out. Like, I don't know. That's and then he could start a new life.
I think he went to Alaska.
You think so? That's kind of
He mentioned that when he had a chance to go somewhere. I'm having trouble with the finding all the chat here.
See,
I don't know how I watch a YouTuber who has all the stuff like highlighted. I don't know how he does that. We'll figure it out.
okay.
They didn't go away. But we'll start acknowledging some of these.
JM Wild One.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Ben Walker, also thank you very much.
Favorite side character? Mike.
Yeah, well, I feel like Mike was a main character.
I mean, I feel like Jesse and Walt were the main characters.
Yeah, okay. If you want to call him a side character, then I will go with Mike.
I mean, he was. Oh, maybe that's why. Am I logged into the wrong thing here?
Please hold.
No, you keep talking. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite side character?
No, I said Mike.
Oh, okay. So you picked Mike also?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen here.
What's the next? What's the next one that you have?
Jesse went. Justin Holiday. Did you always have enough willpower to stop watching after one episode, or did you secretly watch episode back to back and just change shirts to fool us?
We really don't.
Nobody got time for that.
Like our schedule really does not allow for us to watch more than a show in a night. Just because
by the time he gets home from work. And then we start, and then it's like 11:30 sometimes. And it's like, dude, I got to get up early.
And if you guys,
I got kids.
Well, not even just that. Like, if you actually want these videos,
he has to start editing them as soon as we're done.
I gotta start getting them ready. So,
yeah. Sorry if I keep banging on the table. And Max Dude. Hey, guys, love you. Thanks so much for making these videos. Keep it up. Have you seen any Breaking Bad blooper reels that might make you feel better about Walter's character?
So that's another thing that we could kind of announce. We're going to, at some point in the near future, post suggestions about bonus content like we did with Game of Thrones as we were doing the lead up to, For the Throne and the show debut. We're probably going to pick a handful of stuff suggested by you guys to do here and there as we could fit into the schedule.
You do a great job.
Yes. So we are absolutely going to rely on you guys like we do for almost everything that we do in terms of getting that content. So.
Okay. Gordon D. Grant, did you notice the use of colors for major characters and scenes, i.e. purple for Marie, pale green and khaki for Meek, early wall, yellowish tint for scenes in Mexico. Also, the use of such great music and sound effects throughout the show. And actually,
the thing about the colors
were awesome.
Like we were kind of tipped onto that early on, and it was one of those things where
everybody just kept saying, did you notice what color he was wearing or stuff like that? And it's like, what? I
purposely stopped focusing on the colors because I didn't want to get consumed with it. I wanted to keep my focus on the show and the story and the character development. Like the colors jump. Like Marie was easily the most obvious with the purple.
Her entire house.
Like it was like
everything.
It was like out of control. Like they were just like punching you in the face with the color stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. Marie was the most obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, like.
Thanks, Fernando.
I tried to kind of not overly focus on the colors just because I have a trippy attention span, so I need to I can't try to pay attention to 10 different things. But yeah, there's the colors, yes, but didn't dive super deep into the color stuff. It would have been too distracting for me.
What did that say?
What?
No offense to Steven, but he seemed like a dude, bro. In reality, he's actually super intelligent, well-spoken, always good to hear his opinions on the plot and the characters. You don't even know.
You should have seen me.
Thanks again, Fernando.
You should have seen me as a 22-year-old. Your opinion would have changed.
My opinion would have changed.
Probably. Evander, Do you think Jesse will ever recover from all of this? And is our boy Howell still waiting in the safe house?
Poor Howell.
Yeah, what about that other dude? Is that meth dude still digging?
Oh, right. Well, I mean, Howell probably the officer probably.
I would hope he figured it out.
Out.
Yeah,
right?
I'm hoping that he figured it out. Be like, wait, I don't think anything's happening.
Yeah.
But do you think Jesse will ever recover from all this?
I
don't think so, man.
I mean, not truly. No.
I mean, the stuff that he was a small time little street dealer, and like he wasn't built for that.
Just quit your jobs and react full time. That's the dream, man.
that would be amazing. I mean, that's the end goal, really. I don't know if we'll ever get there because
health insurance, medical insurance,
the benefits at my job are too good. Especially with if it was just the two of us, sure.
Oh,
like
you'd be done already.
That'd be no question. But the insurance for the children is too valuable to have. So.
And then from Aaron, thank you. Do you guys know that there's a Breaking Bad movie coming out at some point that's going to star Aaron Paul as Jesse? Thanks, guys. Yes. You're the best at this. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Michael Tom.
Well, you gonna answer it?
What?
We're gonna watch it? Yeah, we're gonna watch it.
Oh, the movie for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Michael Tompkins. Do you think Walt could win the Iron Throne? Yeah.
I think he's definitely got a chance.
I mean, he would just have to build up an army. He's like really bad with working with like groups of people, it feels like. But
well, he's a really bad talker.
Like as long as he's like making all the decisions, sure. Yeah, 100%. He just needs an army to go take over the throne.
Yeah.
He's definitely savage enough. No question.
Yeah. Oh, this eyeshadow.
Jasmine, has any episodes beat half measures for you guys?
Face Off.
A bunch. There are a bunch.
I mean, don't get me wrong; it's still fantastic, but Face Off is pretty damn dope.
That's one of the things we'll go through all of our favorite favorite episodes and favorite moments as we go through some of these questions. But yeah, there are a bunch that topped.
Thank you, Andrew. And yes, we are getting to that question because one of the patrons also asked that question. Thank you. Let me just wait. Let me turn my page because I'm old school and I had to print it out.
David Andre Olson, favorite premiere, favorite finale, and favorite season as a whole. I know exactly what my favorite premiere was.
Season 4 box cutter for the premiere.
I picked that as well.
Season 4 face off for the finale, and season 5 as a whole.
My favorite finale was the finale. Like the way they wrapped up that episode and that show as a whole. Like, there was no better finale of, let alone a season, than the entire show. Like, so I picked Felina as the finale that I like the best. And favorite seasons, it's a toss up for me between season 4 because of like Gus, and then season 5. Just watching all of that shit play out was just so spectacular. So yeah, those are my two. It was hard to pick because season 5 was so spectacular. Season 4 was amazing as well. So,
and we have been explained what the meaning of Felina was. It's basically blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
You want to read the next one?
Where are we at? Is that Krizzy? Krizzy? At the very end, the song "Baby Blue" starts playing with these lyrics. Guess I got what I deserved. Do you guys think that Walt really got exactly what he deserved after all he did, or were you expecting a different outcome for him? And I totally think he got what he deserved.
I don't know if he got what he deserved because he went out exactly the way he wanted to.
Well, I just think that after all the people that died as a result of him directly or indirectly, he should have died.
I mean, I'm
not God.
He didn't see 1 second of a cell. He spent 0 seconds in custody. He didn't face any police action at all. So it's kind of hard to say that he got what he deserved because he went out in the environment he wanted to go out in, finishing everything off that he finished off, and like exactly on his terms, it felt like. So no, I don't think he got what he deserves. He deserved worse.
Okay.
That's my opinion. David Andre Olson again. How does Breaking Bad rank on your all-time favorite list? That's a really hard one.
It's easy for me now. It is right there. Sometimes over Game of Thrones. Don't shoot me.
Sometimes. I'm gonna hold my official rankings until we see Game of Thrones wrap up.
Oh, that's a good call. Then I take it back. I'll wait.
But I don't think there's gonna be any question that they're gonna be like in the top tier and everything else is just gonna be down here. Like, I mean, we've watched some great shows. Walking Dead, Dexter, True Blood, House 24, a bunch of great shows that don't live up to these two shows that we're watching right now. So it's up there, 1A and 1B with Game of Thrones.
I mean, before season 8 started, before there were some like issues with season 8, totally like Game of Thrones is like my top. There's been some back and forth with that.
The emotion that show brings out of you is just something special.
It just brings out of me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
John Hampton wants to know if we were surprised by the ending.
A little surprised.
Yeah, because I didn't know what to expect. I really I had predicted that I thought he was going to die because it was. I mean, the dude was clearly days, weeks, less than a month away from probably dying from cancer, anyways. So I didn't expect him to get out of that finale, but yeah, like it was surprising that he was able to tie up every single loose end that he needed to tie up and was able to accomplish everything that he was able to, and then went out legitimately on his own terms in the meth lab, and his hand of blood on the machine formed a W. Apparently, I gotta go back and see that.
Solid.
Brian Garrett wants to know what our favorite line of the entire show is.
Church.
And I wrote down a few. I wrote down 3 lines that I figured were just iconic for this show. I am the one who knocks. I'm not in the meth business. I'm in the empire business. And just because you shot Jesse James, don't make you Jesse James.
Oh, also, I am the danger.
Yeah. I think what do you think the turning point for Walt truly becoming a villain was?
Let's see, what do I have? When Walt let Jane die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the first, like...
That was like, oh shit.
Look in his eye when it's like... Ooh,
I'm like, did this motherfucker really just let this girl just choke on her shit? Like, holy crap. That was crazy. That was like one of those unforgivable moments.
Well, I also have crawl space down when he's laughing. It's like, oh shit.
You want to read Jim's comment?
Jim. I commented in one of your previous live streams about how, to me, Breaking Bad is the best show of all time, even more so than Game of Thrones, especially when you consider how the writing, directing, storyline, etc. are completely flawless with no holes or errors of any kind. Contrast that with the train wreck, in my and many others' opinion, that Game of Thrones 8th season is becoming. How do you feel now about where Breaking Bad stacks up in your top 10 list? How has it changed how you view and look at other shows, if at all?
I mean, it's definitely... It's
up there, man.
It would definitely be an impossible thing to ever try to compare other shows to this, which I think is something we're really good at. Like, since we started doing this reaction thing, like we try to separate ourselves and completely engulf our minds into that episode and try not to be like, oh, well, how is this going to compare to Game of Thrones? Or how is this going to compare to The Walking Dead? Or how is this going to compare to this show or that show? Like, I don't think it's fair that way. Like, we're not going to go into Vikings and be like, oh, well, let's see how this stacks up with Game of Thrones, because
that's true.
The only thing that I know about that show is that it takes place based off of real events. So like that immediately is going to remove any kind of fantasy weird, like dragon magic type of stuff. So in terms of my mindset, like I'm not going to, it would just be foolish to try to compare anything else to Breaking Bad, because I couldn't imagine too many other shows like living up to it. So that's kind of my mindset on that.
Would you like me to read the next one?
Keep going.
All right. I see some like angry comments in here, by the way. Relax.
It's fine. Fired up fans.
Is it Cyan, Cayenne, Onright? Did you notice the fact that Walt takes a trait from a lot of people he kills throughout the show? Crazy 8 didn't eat crust on his sandwiches, and after Walt kills him, he no longer does it either, which
that's
I
fascinating.
didn't realize that until you said something.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
After Jane and the air crash, he keeps the eye. I noticed that.
Yeah.
After he killed Gus, he then laid a towel on the floor when he vomited in the same manner.
Keep going.
Dude, you're so distracting. While beforehand, Walt always knelt on the floor. I love the last episode. It is almost like Walt and Heisenberg meeting in the middle, like Hulk in Endgame. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right.
A balance of the two. Season 1 to season 5 takes place over a year, and Walt spent a year just in that cabin afterwards. I believe he realizes his wrongs and decides to make right what he could. I don't think he wanted to escape at the end. He gave Jesse the gun, asked him to kill him. His plan was always to die by Jesse. He didn't imagine a scenario where Jesse wouldn't kill him. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thank you for your reactions. You're welcome.
Awesome. That's an amazing thing.
I did not realize.
Yeah. It's an amazing comment.
But now that I think back, I can clearly see him standing in his kitchen when he's in the condo by himself, cutting off the crust.
Yep. As he's getting ready to go cook.
Crazy. Is Marie still a klepto? Probably.
Does anyone stop being a klepto if you don't seek help? I mean, about that specific thing? I don't know. Julian, you want to read Julian's? You're a better reader than me, so you could keep reading.
Oh, remembering the good and the bad. What is your favorite memory moment between Walt and Jesse?
That's easy for me.
Your favorite moment? What's that?
The end, when they're just staring at each other and you could just sense that there's like a level of like respect.
I don't think that Jesse respected him.
I think there was like a
no.
I totally got a sense of that at the end because that's just the way it felt to me. Jesse wouldn't have sat there and like stared at him if he felt anything. He would have just gotten in the car and left. He wouldn't have spent the time to sit there and like give him a nod or whatever.
I feel like anytime
those two went through a lot.
Yes, but anytime Jesse was like, "Hey, Mr. White," like and like talk like just his tone of voice when you talk to Walt, it was like that was like nice and respectful.
Yeah. So Taylor Jones wants to know top 5 episodes.
I wasn't even done with Julian.
Oh. Well, we got a lot of stuff to get to, so we can't hit every.
What's the absolute worst thing Walt did? I think we kind of talked about that though, like his turning point.
The worst thing was letting Jane die.
Yeah.
And then literally pulling Jesse out from under the car and giving him to the Nazis.
And poisoning Brock.
I knew you were going to go there, so I left that off my list.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 2 things for me.
There you go.
Jane and Nazi.
Gloating that he killed Jane. By the way,
that was horrible.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Top 5 episodes.
I kind of answered that though.
I have not. So there was also another question about top 10 episodes. So I'm just gonna go. This is no particular order.
Killing 10 guys in prison.
I mean, criminals. Crazy handful of nothing was when Walt blew up Tuco. That was like the first like, oh shit moment, I felt like. Mm-hmm. Half measures, full measures, flies on my list. I thought that was absolutely fascinating that the 2 of them were able to carry that entire episode and it was still super fascinating and interesting. What?
Thank you, Andrew. But killing Mike.
Mike, that was he's done a ton of horrible shit, but he asked for the worst. I thought those were the 2 worst.
How about that GI chain choke? Oh, GI. Wow. That Gee chain choke out by Jesse. Sincerely yours, Todd. Back control at its finest.
That was dope. I was very proud of that choke. Box cutter, crawl space, face off, Ozymandias. I say it wrong every time.
Yes.
Granite State, Felina, Say My Name, Dead Freight, and ABQ were all my favorite episodes that I was able to
that's
point
true.
out. What?
Andra Harvey when he took Holly. That
Oh,
did
yeah.
make me cry.
That was-
Anybody who said I'm not emotionally invested in this show,
Yeah, right.
whatever, man.
We're gonna start cranking through some of these to get through them. Whose death saddened you? Diesel wants to know whose death saddened you the most.
Saddened you?
Yeah, it's first. It's been a long day. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I think Mike's bothered me the most, just because
that one and the
Andrea's death was awful.
Yes, thank you.
That was. I mean, she didn't like Mike had done a whole bunch of horrible shit in his life. He was a bad dude. Most of the people that we were close to that died, a lot of those people were bad dudes, but Andrea was not.
Right.
She was an innocent person who was trying to get her shit together, raising her kid. That was
no love for Steve Gomez. Oh, sorry.
Poor
Sorry,
Gomi.
Steve. Hank was sad too, though. Also, but yes, thank you. The kid in the desert.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That was awful. Fucking crazy, polite Todd guy.
Oh my god. Well, and also the kid in the park that Gus used. Fuck that.
Oh yeah. There were a lot of horrible deaths.
Walt was so awful in season 5, but would you rather have it end in season 4, which could have, or watch the downward spiral of season 5?
I love the downward.
I
love the downward spiral of season 5. I mean that got me ranting and fired up about his character. Like
Mike Grimmer on Patreon also asked a similar question about. They thought that the series was going to end in season 4. So, I thought that it would have been like, it would have felt incomplete. Like there was no like full on resolution. So
thank you, Chris.
Just 20 for the long day traffic, bro. 101 hate strong here. It is a 405. Fuck that 405.
It was the 405 today.
Oh, that's always, people cannot handle it.
There was like a huge crash there.
That's what I'm saying. They can't handle it. Trevor, thank you. What do you expect Better Call Saul to be like about? I'm going to assume it's about Saul.
Yeah. And
I'm not trying to be.
All of his dealings, all the criminals that he is a lawyer for. I don't know what kind of fun adventures that we might be going on with him. I'm fascinated, though, because it's something that I've been thinking about since. Like it just made total sense to watch Better Call Saul at some point. Just might as well just do it while it's fresh. But like him in small doses is great. I'm very interested to see what he's going to be like in large doses. It's gonna be pretty fascinating to see. So
I want to.
Let's do the Jesse one.
Jesse, is it QUOC? Is it Nguyen or Win? Nguyen?
Thanks, Scott.
Damn it. Jesse Pinkman said, bitch, 54 times on the show. You can look up the complete compilation on YouTube.
Which was hilarious.
Roll me further, bitch. Plural, bitch. Gatorade me, bitch. Yeah, bitch. Magnets, bitch. One of your favorite, bitch. So I like the magnets, bitch, and the Gatorade me, bitch.
I wrote down 4. I wrote down, son of bitch.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
Maritza.
When he hurt his hand while he was slamming down the phone. Son of bitch. This is my own private domicile. I will not be harassed, bitch. You're my free pass, bitch. And then, yeah, bitch, magnets. Those are my 4 favorites.
Scott, for the Fuck the 405 fund.
Yes, fuck the 405.
Yes.
Horrible.
Thank you, Scott.
Absolutely horrible.
Thank you, Maritza Navarro.
So favorite season we talked about.
Season
favorite
5.
finale we talked about.
What the moment for you when Walt went from good guy to bad guy? And I think it was when he killed Jamie.
Yeah.
And then
Mike Grimmer.
We just answered that already.
Did we do that one?
Yeah.
We did Drunken Koala. We did our top episodes.
I wanted to leave them on the counter, bitch.
We talked about the movie.
Mystery Man, thank you. And Luis, you guys, what does that say? You guys should watch Jimmy Fallon Breaking Bad skit. Totally.
We will jump into a bunch of that stuff. So now we can finally jump into a Patreon or
the packages.
Oh yeah, we can talk about packages. Let's get to some of these. The
originals.
Let's get to some of these super chats.
I am not going to say your name. The first person.
BD Daddy.
69, and he's got a emoji of a penis.
No, isn't that Patrick?
That's not what I'm talking about. He's got an 8 dash dash. Hi, Walter Wright's my dad. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
Chris Collins, thank you. How about that Vince Gillian writing choice?
Should be Gilligan, right?
Yeah, from Chris Collins. Thank you very much. What's up, Rob? Winter's here. Walt, wrong show. Church.
Oslors. Would you be able to react to the rumored Breaking Bad movie that day?
I don't know. It all depends on.
I don't think react to it because then you wouldn't be able to clip it into.
We've never done movies before, but apparently people do movies.
That's hard to edit in. I mean, we could do
We could do a podcast breakdown. We could definitely do a podcast review on the movie versus doing a reaction to it because we might want to be able to just enjoy the movie, but we'll see.
William. Don't know if you've talked about this, but Jesse's the hero dealing drugs aside. He kind of does. I mean, he's always there to
he's had his questionable moments without question. But the one thing that they do great in this show is that they made it very easy to sympathize with Jesse.
Yes, so because they totally guided you to feel bad for Jesse.
Well, because he showed remorse. He had moments of just emotional breakdowns.
When he killed Gail, though.
That's where the spiral really kind of started. It felt like, but he showed remorse. You show remorse, and it goes even with Mike. They purposely were showing us scenes of Mike with his granddaughter for a reason. They wanted to do that to make you feel more positively for him than for Walt, who at certain points just showed no remorse and did whatever he had to do. So
yeah, Jesse's way too kind to be a criminal. I agree. Jared, thank you. Thanks for all the time and work you both put into this channel. I've had fun rewatching the show with you both. And I just want you to know, I don't do anything. He does everything.
You're the star of the show, though. So, King Jake, thank you very much.
Is the star of the show.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Juliana, thank you.
Reacting to the ultimate, what does this say?
Reacting to the ultimate expedition on YouTube Red would be amazing.
Keep up the great
work. Okay. Love y'all's thoughts and opinions.
We read this one, right?
Yes. I think we're caught up now. Cindy Cruz, also awesome. Thank you for the shirt. Or love the shirts. Thank you. You know what? Whatever.
It's our first time reading. It's
that's
late. What was the point? Rob wants to know what the point of no return for Walt was.
Poisoning.
I don't know. I feel the one moment that really jumps out to me the most in terms of Walt and just losing it was definitely crawl space. When he was underneath there and he found out that Skylar gave the money away to Ted, that moment is him laying there and just the zoom out, just like they did in the finale. That shit has stuck with me, that scene, because his Joker laugh was just so on point.
Yeah.
And I'm
crazy.
This dude is going crazy. Holy shit. So that's one of those things where it was just on a whole nother level for me.
Can we give our moderators a quick round of applause, please? Because they're fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Not a single spoiler.
Not one.
Again.
Some asshole tried.
Send him a fucking email,
Someone tried. Literally the day we were watching it, the person sent us, they copied and pasted the series finale's description off of Amazon or off of Wikipedia and just copy and pasted it into our email. Thank God the emails get vetted properly and they just don't get jumped into and read. But it was a good effort, dude.
That's right. Moderators, bitch.
I mean,
church.
Our moderators are absolutely rock stars. So many episodes, so many attempts to ruin the show for us. And they absolutely crushed it. Not one thing at all was spoiled for this show. And yeah, we owe it all to them because they work very hard, and we appreciate them very, very much. I don't know how many of them are in here right now. I think we've got
Fernando.
2. Fernando and Nikki are here, and then we got Drake and Corey. Mod Squad, strong. One other thing that we wanted to hit on, we have received some packages recently.
Yes.
And we haven't had a chance to do an unboxing video just because we've been getting one here,
very infrequently.
Yeah, they've been.
It's no Game of Thrones,
right? For sure.
Which again,
no obligation.
No.
But we like to still somehow send a shout out and give you visual appreciation for the stuff that we've received. So we're going to go through some of the packages that we've received recently.
Actually, let's go with this one, the first one. Aw, Anita, thank you so much. Do you think Jesse ran into the cops on his last getaway? Rewatching the finale, you can hear cops on their way before the baby blue ending. I bet federal seems like heaven compared to Nazi prison for Jesse. I'm sure he wouldn't even mind it, to be honest.
I don't know if he would do well in prison, though. Let's be real.
Yeah. Thank you, Jasmine.
Love it.
Breaking Bad book. The official book.
The thing looks... I can't wait to, dive into this book and just read some of the stuff about it.
There you go. There you go.
So good. So good.
Awesome. This one's next. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Steven. And this is from Sarah S. Oh, there we go. Sanity is radical. Loved reliving the show with you. What's your top Heisenberg being badass moment?
Say my name.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
When he was talking to Declan. Was that his name?
Yeah.
When he was like, no, I don't know who I don't know who you are. He's like, say my name.
Hardchip Jr., thank you.
That shit was super dope when he was just like, say my name.
So from Sarah S., I found your channel a couple of months back as you were catching up with Game of Thrones, and since I followed your channel religiously, the work you put in, the rhythm of your uploads, combined with your awesome personalities, positivity, and authenticity make your channel one of a kind. I hope you enjoy this Game of Thrones themed gift from Love from Canada, Sarah S. On a different note, you should look into The Americans. No worries if you don't end up picking it since it has a relatively small following, but for me, it joins Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones as the ultimate trio of what TV should be. Thank you, Avery De La Cruz. Whether you two decide to do react videos for the series or not, I highly suggest watching The Wire. It won't feel like it at first, but it's another show that ends up being perfect. To be honest, I don't remember the last time I watched regular TV unless it was on camera.
I mean, The Wire's been around a long time, so dope.
I love it so much. Look, she even sent a stand with it, y'all.
That's so cool.
Like, I got a stand. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love that so much. Okay. And then, a couple more.
Gonna wrap this up soon.
Yes, grade school T-ball versus the New York Yankees.
That was great.
That's what I'm talking about.
The day you wore the fucking Yankee shirt.
And I have not worn it since.
That was like the most crazy coincidence of all time.
Totally crazy.
Like, so insane.
This is from BRL. Oh.
Get to that first.
Oh, okay. She doesn't do social media of any kind. This is a long. I read it, but it's for us. This letter was written after seeing your reaction to 5/12 of Breaking Bad, Rabid Dog. It occurred to me from something from one of the other things you said in the discussion afterward about how even Skylar had gone dark side, that there's something deep happening here. You're really onto something, quite simply. I think the entire show of Breaking Bad turns out to be inspired by, or at least evocative of, the famous bit of philosophy that roughly translated goes as follows. Beware that, when dealing with monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. And that's Friedrich Nietzsche. Is it Nietzsche or Nietzsche?
I think it's Nietzsche.
Nietzsche. She also writes some additional things. Also with the love Walter comments. Thank you. And she sent us a gift card.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much.
That was so sweet. I was like, what?
Is this the new one?
Yes.
Okay.
What can I?
We'll save this one for last.
Okay. And then for Jewmungus, Walt was just as addicted to his business as his customers were to his product. He was addicted to the strength after living a life of weakness.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more truthful.
And it's just so crazy to me how he, like, the whole gray matter thing, like, checking the stocks, like, every day. Like, that's just pure torture. Like, losing something like that and just not being a billionaire because he took a horrible buyout because of relationship problem. Like, ugh. It makes total sense that he would thrive as a, like, in a moment like that. It's just so crazy.
This one is from Lotan, Lotan, Lotan. Just wanted to write and let you know how much I enjoy watching your reaction videos as a professional artist. All I do all day every day is draw. This can get very mundane, so I usually put on a show, movie, or YouTube in the background. I've rewatched shows so many times it becomes mundane. Enter you guys. Now it feels like I'm watching things for the first time again and with friends. I think I started with your Game of Thrones reactions, but I've since watched several. One of my favorite moments with you guys was watching Hill House when you both screamed and jumped scared in the after that moment, it was hilarious. He goes on to the cover pages, but I will read those, like, for us. I thought that was hilarious. And he sent us pins.
So dope.
It says Breaking Todd. I love that so much.
So awesome.
Oh, Anita, not really a question, but in the last shot even ever of Skylar, her shadow looks like she hung herself. And Rob, one of our other subscribers, he, sent us a screenshot of that, and I was like, oh shit, it does. It does. It looks like she hung herself.
And like everything else in the show,
it's on purpose.
No
I'm
way,
sure.
no way that was done on accident.
Yeah.
Like, no way. What in the hell is this?
Oh my God. Hey, Nikki and Steve, my name is Justin Holiday, and I'm one of your Patreon listeners. I just want to say how much I really enjoy listening to everything you do. From the podcast Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, it's all enjoyable. Your reactions are honest, and Steve, I've said this to you before, but your editing and graphics are flawless. Great job to both of you. I've wanted to send you this gift for a while, but I wanted to wait until you got towards the end of Breaking Bad. I know you've enjoyed the show, and hopefully you'll enjoy this gift. I know you can't defend Walt, but hopefully you'll appreciate how Bryan Cranston played him. I wish you guys the best, and I plan on supporting you on Patreon for years to come. Thanks for everything, Justin Holiday. Justin, you're amazing.
How dope is that?
Awesome!
Like, that is amazing. And it says, say my name.
It's signed by Heisenberg and Bryan Cranston.
That is,
how cool is that?
We need to frame
That's
this.
being framed. That's being put up on the shelf. That is so cool.
Look at that badass motherfucker.
That's dope AF. Look at him. He's a scary
That
motherfucker.
is so cool. Well, those all the packages that we have shout outs for?
That is it.
All right, y'all. Oh, if you got more things to talk about.
I can't resist waiting to know. Better Call Saul. Is it happening? Also, do you think Walt survived and is in protective custody? So to reiterate our announcement, we will be watching Vikings 3 days a week and Better Call Saul once a week.
Yes. Once we finish Cobra Kai, we will jump into Better Call Saul as our weekend show. Vikings is our premium show. We're basically going to eliminate the live show when Game of Thrones is done and until The Walking Dead returns. So that's kind of the plan moving forward for the channel. If we missed any of the super chats, which I don't think we did, let's just double check that.
Well, do you think Walt survived?
Oh, Walt's dead.
Well, I mean, we didn't technically see him die, and everything we see is for a reason.
I think he for sure. I mean, he was not far off from dying from cancer, and he had that huge wound in his side. Like,
so altogether, how many shows are we watching?
At once, two shows.
Well, I mean, right now, at this very moment, we have Game of Thrones is the live show.
Mm-hmm.
We're done with
Punisher has been finished, and that'll be up on Sunday.
We're done with Breaking Bad also.
Yeah, and
we're watching Cobra Kai. So just 2 right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're gonna.
Can I take a day off?
We're gonna try to keep it around 2 shows because I really feel like 2 shows is like the perfect number for us because like it really allows us to fully digest every episode that we're watching
and like hang out with each other and like love each other and like remember who each other is.
Yeah. But I'll react to the theory that Walt survived. Yeah.
He's in jail.
No way he's in jail. The fool died.
He's in prison.
If
he lived,
the other cool thing that 2 shows lets us do, it gives us a little bit more freedom to react to some of the side content, trailers, stuff like that. It gives us a little bit more availability for that. And plus, we're loving the podcast so far.
Yeah.
If you didn't know about it, go find us. It's called the Sticker Podcast on everything. Go find it. There should be links down below. I don't know if the link stuck because we had to relaunch this chat.
It's Vikings and Better Call Saul, you guys.
We're watching both. We are doing both shows.
Because we've finished with everything else. So it'll just be Game of Thrones, Vikings, and Better Call Saul.
Yeah. Once we finish, we'll start Better Call Saul once we're done with Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is going to get wrapped up first. Then we're going to start Better Call Saul. The estimated...
I didn't miss your super chat, M Beats.
No, we got you. Unless you sent more than one.
M Beats. Also, never would have guessed y'all were over 30.
Yeah.
Hey,
we're almost 40.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're almost 40.
I'm 18.
We're almost 40 years old.
Can't you tell by all the awful wrinkles I have?
I wrote down a kind of rough date that we might start Vikings is the 21st. So, yeah, that'll probably be the plan, and hopefully we can crank out Cobra Kai season 2, get that wrapped up, and then we can jump into Better Call Saul. So,
JC Newman, did y'all watch the trailer for Fear the Walking Dead season 5?
We did.
Yes, we did, and they gave everything away. I don't understand that show.
If you weren't paying attention to like the news and like the announcements, and they just throw Dwight in the trailer, like why? Like why?
Like, oh, okay, so now we know where he is.
And they threw in
thanks for the spoiler.
And they threw in what's his name? I always forget his name. The barber dude.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Daniel. Like they put both of them in the trailer. It's like, there goes they're alive.
There goes that surprise.
Cool.
So yeah, like it just. We watched season 1. We stopped in the middle of season 2. We kind of powered through whatever we could for season 3 to catch up for season 4. And then it's just we're not invested in the characters. It's just, I don't know what it is about Fear that we just were never able to like fully, like in the moment I started feeling for a certain character, they killed the person.
Yeah. Like
both of them. So like, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, yeah, so we were just never really able to connect to that show. So we're gonna.
What's a good haircut?
Good haircut.
This one.
This is a good haircut.
No, this is a good haircut. Fernando, shave your head. Shut up.
Why do I look like?
Oh wait, not me. Shave my head. You're saying to them shave their head. Do what you want.
Why do I look like I'm about to break bad?
Somebody said that I look 27 and you look 70.
Thank you, Trevor. Like, Trevor just said that I'm the GOAT editor.
Aww, that's nice.
I get so happy when y'all comment about the editing because I really do bust my ass to
Alex. Yes, man.
What did Alex say?
Remember when people said that BB wouldn't be a good show to react to?
They just didn't like the show. That's the
only. Are you crazy?
I mean, that's the only reason that anyone could say that the show wasn't good to react to. But.
Nikki made me love short-haired girls. It's just hair. It's just hair.
But the comments of the editing just like because I put so much time and effort into it, I really, really like I my approach to it.
There's Corey.
I try to. Hey, he made it. He lives in. Yeah, it's crazy time for a lot of people. I know it's hard us being on the West Coast. But like it's just my style of editing. Like I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, I'm very grateful.
Aww. Jabby, is that Walker?
Yeah.
Nikki hair equals best hair. Again, thank you very much. Let's never discount a woman because she has short hair.
Yeah. Don't make assumptions.
Just hair. And
don't make assumptions.
It's about the face.
Yeah. And she has a beautiful face, so it works.
Thanks, babe.
So we're all done with the Breaking Bad stuff. There's still 500 people in this chat, so we'll see what you guys are talking about. We do have to go watch an episode of something tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in like a few minutes.
You see what I'm saying? You can't binge watch shows because we just did this. It's 10:14 p.m. here now.
Oh,
by the time we get done with everything, it's going to be after 11 at some point. It's like, I'm tired.
Yeah. Unless you're living in Hawaii, it's easy.
Oh.
But yeah, another comment about the editing. Like, thank you very much. Like, I really do. You know, I've been building this craft for a long time, and yeah. By the way, crazy thing, I'm jumping into PC, y'all. I'm eliminating my Mac, and I'm building. Shout out to Corey for the help on this. But I'm building my first PC tower, and I'm going to crank up the editing speed even more.
Oh my god!
I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
You thought we were in our 20s? Thank you. I'm 38.
It's because we act young.
I'm 12, really.
I act 12.
That's what I'm saying. Any type of like dirty joke, I will have made it.
We're gonna do a Breaking Bad specific podcast with a little twist about something else in a minute. We froze for a sec.
That's because you touched it.
You tried to touch it. We're gonna have obviously we broke down all the specifics of our favorite stuff here.
Yes.
But we're going to what?
The color Morning from the UK with BB color Breaking Bad. Color theme. Is there a Nikki and Steven color theme with Nikki's nails we need to do and analyze? Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, she's always got something going with her nail color.
I got some new color change gels, polishes. Stay tuned for those.
Sopranos is a show that was on when I was in college. Who asked about Sopranos just now? Who was that? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Emile Demort?
Yeah. Sopranos almost made it into the final vote, but Nikki has seen a little bit of it. I've watched a lot of Sopranos, but I don't really remember much because it was
what was on
college.
the other day? That was
we have to do a lot of thinking.
Oh, that was Goodfellas.
We have to do a lot of thinking about if we want to do. We just don't want to react to something where we know stuff's happening because then the reaction's not authentic and real. But yeah, like Sopranos is something that we've thought a lot about. So
Andrew, thank you. 6 feet under. Never reacted to a diamond in the rough. Lost and the leftovers you will adore. You guys took me out of my depressions. You saved my life. Thanks for everything. Andrew, got you, man. I understand. 100%.
Thank you so much. That's amazing to hear.
Thank you. Yeah. How do you feel about Hank?
Hank's dope.
Steve is the Walter White of editing videos.
Don't make me break bad.
Oh, shoot. Church.
I saw a comment about workout routine. For me, they were asking about my routine.
Oh, whatever. Cycle is life.
I do jujitsu 3 days a week and I lift twice a week. I try to. So I do upper body, lower body in the gym.
Can you comment on the Starbucks cup? Did you notice that they fixed it?
Of course they fixed it.
Loved your Hill House too, yeah.
We talked about the Starbucks cup in the podcast. As a guy who's been in production for a long time now, and I have been on like some movie sets, obviously nothing as like grand as like Game of Thrones, obviously, but I couldn't imagine the amount of props and stuff they have lying around that set. Like, I totally understand getting the shot and then realizing like later, like, oh shit, it was there. Like, as an editor, someone who edits, that's blasphemous.
Apparently they left it on purpose.
There's no way they left that on purpose.
And then when people got pissed, they removed it.
I couldn't imagine them leaving it. Like, no one needs the pub. Neither one of them needs it. But
Oswald, thank you. What was your favorite Breaking Bad season?
5. 4 or 5, toss up for both of them. The other season of Breaking Bad that I was blown away by, and it goes back to something I said much earlier on in this, is just the element of surprise. The whole Albuquerque, like the plane season, like we were trying to guess what happened at Walt's house, and we were just so far off, and then we realized that 2 planes crashed, and like that was the reason of all the debris and all the like the just total just like destruction in the neighborhood, which is Walt's fault. I am 100% blaming him for the airplanes.
People give us so much shit for that.
That episode, that whole season was spectacular too, just because of the way, like, the mind-blown moment of finding out that, like, all of that shit went down. And then the way that they had the naming conventions and the season titles.
Oh, I know.
Like,
that
the episode
nuts.
titles
Yeah.
at, like, 757 over Albuquerque. It's like, that's just genius shit right there.
Yeah. What software do you use to edit?
Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019.
The editing of every other Breaking Bad reaction channel I've watched doesn't compare to this channel. Thanks for the amazing Breaking Bad reactions.
Appreciate it very much.
Is that Vinex?
I work very hard for y'all. Breaking Bad, this is a really
I like this.
a very fascinating hold on. a very fascinating thing about this show. It was like outside the last 2 episodes because they were extended. Breaking Bad might have been the easiest show to edit for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about it. I don't know if it was just so easy in terms of like fluid storyline and just concise everything about the show. But like, I found it quite easy. Like I didn't even like, because of the track record with this show and Sony and reactors in the past, I wasn't even going to flirt with going over 10 minutes of time. Every single episode, even the 50-minute plus ones, are at 10 minutes or below in terms of use of the show. So,
good job, babe.
That's why I waited till Tuesday to put it out, because it took me double the time to edit that episode, just because I wanted it to be perfect.
Did you know that I'm in a thumbnail for the Arya reaction compilation video for episode 3? I did not know that.
Did not know that. Who's doing compilations for Game of Thrones?
I don't know. Is it that
I don't know. I wasn't aware.
Sure, what's that?
What else we got? Did we get a new one? What's that one?
No,
that was old. We're gonna start.
Nigel, love your channel, guys. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Got a few more minutes here. We'll see. What does this say here? What do I do for work? I'm not in the entertainment industry, but I'm in the content creation industry. Sports. I work in sports. Without giving away too many specifics, but digital content creator.
I want to wrestle Steve shirtless for Nikki's love. Depends on what you look like. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you really?
No.
I was a wrestler in high
He's a
school.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't think you're going to
win. I'm like 215, and I train every day to wrestle. So, yeah. I mean, where do you think I got this shit from?
Me too. I'm just kidding.
Like I thought my mouth got popped too today. That was a rough class today. Very rough class. Steve is the mountain. I'm only like 5'9 and a half, 5'10. I'm no mountain. I'm not that tall.
Steve will put you to sleep. Yeah, Leon Razor compilations. Thank you, Cindy.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. That's I couldn't think, and I'm like, it starts with an L.
I wish I was a WWE employee, except for the fact that you have to live in like BFE, Connecticut. No offense to anyone living in Connecticut, but I like living in Southern California.
Sanity is radical. Steve would fuck any of us up, basically. No,
I'm a big teddy bear. Just don't set me off.
Thank you, Jojo.
I'm too old for that shit now.
Steven, who's your favorite wrestler in the WWE?
All time, it's CM Punk.
I was kidding.
Currently, I don't know. I'm so down on the product right now. Like, I love Nakamura, but he's not doing anything. I love Kevin Owens, but they're not really doing much with him.
Glorious.
Robert Roode now, like he's a nothing. Like they've already screwed up Ricochet. It feels like I love that guy. That guy is so entertaining.
Steven is the somewhat tall hill. He's not the mountain. He's the somewhat tall hill. Huh?
That's rude.
John Cena.
Fuck that guy. Seth Rollins is dope.
Ric Flair.
Burn it down. I'm gonna actually, for my next video for my channel, I'm gonna do a WWE rant because I did a Star Wars rant last Friday. I'm gonna post another one, hopefully this end of this week about wrestling.
Did we overhype Breaking Bad? No.
No.
If anything, you underhyped it.
I mean, so
great.
many. Like I had my doubts about the show for partially just because of the fact that everyone's like, "Oh, this show's not good to react." Like, I knew they had certain intentions in that, but I was kind of questioning it at the same time because I really had no idea what it was. But yeah. What software do we use to record the show during reactions? We don't. We film ourselves watching the show, and then it's like a screen capture. It's QuickTime thing that I try to use, which is very hit or miss sometimes, but it's usually what it is.
Stephen the Hill, first of his name, reactor of shows, owner of belts, and watcher of wrestlers. We will not be reacting to Gilmore Girls. No.
My channel is called Steve OG, and I need to change the name. I need something better. We'll figure something out. Bad, not once. Surprisingly, not once.
No, because our moderators are fantastic.
We have the best mods. They're absolute kick-ass. They're so good.
Steven, King of the Hill. Scuba Steve. The Hill. I'm just going to start calling you that. The Hill.
Stupid.
All right, guys.
Black Sails has been on a vote before.
I wanted to watch it.
That show looks
It didn't win.
That show looks fascinating.
Stephen the Steven.
Thanks, Corey. Very creative. Appreciate it. All right, yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up. What do we got?
Somebody's asking for a Jon Snow.
Why? This is Breaking Bad. This is yo.
Bitch. Church.
Jon Snow. Jon Snow. He's gonna kill Daenerys, by the way.
What does that say? You're about to get mocked.
What?
I snuck a kind of spoiler in season 1 of Breaking Bad, and it got past you. Ha ha! You guys even liked it.
Doubtful. I don't believe you.
That's not nice. Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you try to sneak something by us?
Why would you do that? Why would you try to ruin the show for somebody? Yeah, I don't understand that.
I never understood that at all. Do your best Walter White impression.
There's Eva. Hi, Eva. Exactly. What a jerk.
I am the danger. I'm not good at impressions. I can't do impressions.
No, I'm going to write that person's name down. You done did something wrong.
Deuces. If you're going to try to spoil something for us, don't admit to us that you tried to spoil it. Oh, good.
If you don't think I'm serious.
Your name has been written down.
I'm serious.
You are on the list.
You're on the list. That's not cool, man.
Do I think Bryan Cranston is a good actor?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. He's pretty good. I think he's pretty good. You just made the list.
You just made the list.
All right. Anyone else got any last questions? We've got maybe a minute.
Do your mods help filter your emails?
No, but they're very carefully vetted before they get read.
There's words and phrases.
Yes, I am an absolutely insane nut job when we have words hidden on all our social media. We have very, very strict things in place to avoid it. So,
oh, wait, somebody asked if you're the Punisher in MCU, who am I?
Black Widow. Or Captain Marvel, because now she has short hair.
Dope, right?
Spoiler alert. All right. All right, guys. So that's going to do it. Thank you all very much for joining us for our Breaking Bad wrap party. This was fun.
Rocket Raccoon, whatever.
we're gonna have more. We're gonna do more Breaking Bad content because this show is so spectacular. It deserves it. Just like Game of Thrones got. Obviously, maybe once they announce a date for the movie, we could do a countdown like we did with Game of Thrones for that extra bonus content.
Oh, love you 3000.
Oh yeah. You want to talk? People always ask me what makes me cry.
Yeah.
Endgame made me cry.
Tank Girl, yes. Take that shit all day.
Endgame made me cry. Steven, do you think Phantom Menace sucks? Yeah.
Top Gun.
It's the second worst Star Wars movie of all of them.
Thanks, Amy.
I'm probably gonna do a Star Wars countdown too at some point, ranking all the films. But behind the scenes of reactions, I don't know how we would pull that off. Skinny Pete or Matt Badger, who'd you like more?
Badger.
I thought Skinny Pete was
stupid. No,
Skinny Pete was like he was playing that piano at the end. Like that dude's got some
true.
skills.
But I just thought Badger was just funny because he was so stupid. Nikki, why do you cry so much?
Because she's emotional. She's emotionally invested in these shows and she loves this stuff.
Just like, I don't know. I get into it, man. If there's anything to do with kids or animals or characters that I love, I'm going to cry. Like, I cry at commercials, yo.
She has. That is true. So,
I honestly, I'm not, I see that question a lot is like, dude, this chick's crying so much. And it's like, sorry, that's what I do.
I just saw a comment about, from Ollie G. Have you reacted to the fight between Vader and Kenobi? No, I watched it. I couldn't resist watching it today. Like someone remade the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan from A New Hope. Mm-hmm. It was so dope. That was so cool. It's exactly what it should have been. But like, dude, that movie was made in the 70s. Like, what did you guys expect? I don't know. It's hard to expect that fight to have been action-packed. But, yeah. Cool. I think that's going to wrap it up. Unless we see one more that's interesting, because this is always fun to do. All right. Oh, we got one more.
J Torch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate the blue heart.
Why didn't you cry when Walt died? Because I was not happy with his life decisions.
Because she was happy that he died.
Yep.
We didn't, like, I feel like.
What? We're just getting started. It's been an hour and a half. We still have another show to watch tonight.
We're watching. Luckily, it's a short episode. But, like, I feel like you cry a lot more when something is built up versus when something is shocking. Like, if something, like, shocks you, you don't like react emotionally as much. It's more just like, oh my God.
There's Justin. Good night, Justin.
But like a moment where you could hear a little something, like you could hear a little whine from Ghost.
Like, oh shit.
And then they show you something and then that hits you. Or like, like you see, I'm not going to give spoilers to anything, but like you see a character for like a few minutes and you are just like, you know something's about to happen. And it just builds and builds and builds, and then it happens. Like,
I didn't cry enough with Rhaegal dying. Are you nuts? What? You lying?
That was a lot of crying. I might not have. Go watch the extended version if you didn't think there was enough crying for that baby.
We're done when when you guys say we're done.
True facts. Yeah.
How old are your kids? 4 and 6.
They'll be 7 and 5 this year.
Mm-hmm. We are from Southern California.
I was born in Jersey. Lived here pretty much my whole life.
I'm Southern California all the way, even though sometimes my accent is weird.
Patreon is where you can watch extended stuff.
Yes. Thank you for the blue hearts.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna wrap it up now. So again, thank you all very much for the comments. We really appreciate all of you. Thank you again very much for suggesting this show and voting it to win, because it's one of those life changers. And I still couldn't remember the other thing that I saw. That's going to really bug me.
Oh, just to answer Lou real fast, our children are in bed.
Yeah.
They don't ruin our reactions because they are in bed.
We always do everything once they're fed and put to bed. That's why we don't watch like Game of Thrones at 6 o'clock because we're feeding them and putting them to bed.
Yeah, everybody, blue hearts, blue hearts. I want to see all the blue hearts for the blue meth.
That's going to drive me so crazy.
Blue, blue, blue. Just light it up, blue.
I wish I would have wrote it down.
Blue. Blue hearts. Everybody, everybody, everybody.
RVs. Damn it. There's another thing that I see and it immediately makes me think of Breaking Bad.
Look at all the things, guys. You guys are the best.
Look at all those blue hearts.
I love y'all. Oh, I got black hearts. Look at
Whoa.
that.
Hey.
Those hearts are those diamonds. Why did they like...
They pick weird things
Church.
to hide. Car washes, yes. That's exactly, thank you very much. There's a car wash right next to my barber shop. And I have to drive past the car wash. And every time I see a car wash or a RV, I'm like, oh, Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Thank you. Who said car wash?
A lot of people said car wash.
Did
a
they?
lot of people.
Thank you very much. That was
blue hearts and money bags.
That was gonna drive me so mad if I didn't figure out what the other thing was. The car wash and RVs. Every time now. Yeah. Chicken restaurants. Lawyer commercials.
Yeah, right.
All of them.
Larry H. Parker.
Yeah. And what do we have in LA? What is that one? Chicken Rami, something.
I don't know.
Yeah, you hear his commercials all the time. But we're really gonna slide this over to the end stream button now for reals. Thank you very much. We will see you guys later. Better Call Saul. We'll do some more Breaking Bad videos. We're gonna do a Breaking Bad podcast. Keep your eyes open for all the content, and keep your eyes open for the community
Have
tab.
an A1 day.
That's hilarious.